Yo, 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 we are live, y'all. Not Memorex. We live. We
Even
not
though my
VHS.
camera looked like it's Memorex.
We live. It's not VHS. Live is not DVD or Blu-ray. We live like
Not
a
Betamax.
blunt gamer. Not beta. We live like a blunt gamer Blu-ray, baby. What's up, Billy Boots? What's the word?
What's good, man? Just chilling, man. Trying to stay safe in this pandemic world out here. Trying to chop it up with my folks real quick. That's it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Got to stay out the way, man.
Yeah,
Got to stay
all
out the
day,
way. I'm
all
just
day.
chilling, man. I'm just chilling, minding my business, man.
That's it, man. Everybody safe in the family and all that good stuff.
Yeah, man, we chilling. I'm chilling. Chilling.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
All right, so
So what we doing tonight, man? What we doing tonight?
we gonna chop it up a little something good, man. We got some nice little topics. We all about pop culture, and as we know today, pop culture is hip hop culture, which means
Facts.
which means our culture, and that's what we're gonna be talking about.
True, true, true. All right, bet. I'm with it.
So we had some new music drop. I believe that was Friday. So
Okay, yeah,
you
it was Friday.
we've had the weekend and a couple days to you know peep game and see what the word in the street is and all that. So uh, we're gonna go ahead and get right on into it.
Yes, sir.
So Friday, Nas dropped a new album called King's Disease. I believe this is his 13th album, 12th, 13th album, or something like that.
It better not slow.
Uh, first album, first album came out in what, 94?
Was it
Illmatic
man?
94. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we was rather young back then.
True.
So
That
that
was
was
long,
deemed
many moons ago.
a classic. Uh, I actually got
Hmm.
five mics. The first album I believe to ever get five mics in the source at the time. I'm not sure how many albums
Mm.
have gotten five mics since 1994, but I know that was the first one. So
Okay.
Nas came out in '94. That's 26 years ago. I think his first single actually came out in '93, so that would be the 27 Summers reference or what have you. But yeah, so this is what 12th, 13th album for a storied hip hop legend MC. So you being a hip hop head and a diehard Jay Z fan, but I know you're a fan of hip hop also. So what's your take
I'm a-
on the 13th album?
well, let me see. Let me pull it up so I can kind of look at everything and look at all the songs here. Um, Look, before I do that, let me give you a little background. So, myself, like a lot of, I'm a Nas fan. Nas is one of the best that ever did it. Icon, legend in the game, all that good stuff. But as of late, I and others feel like a lot of his albums have been subpar due to lack of good beats. Just basically the songs themselves don't sound good. Lyrics is great, songs themselves don't sound good. So I was really rooting for him and looking forward to this album, like I do a lot of times when he come out an album, because I really want it to be good. Like I want to bump a Nas joint. So this joint, it's all right. Like it's not bad. It's not a bad album at all. It's a few joints on here that I really, really, really like. But by and large, I mean, I don't know what type of rating system we working with, whatever, but I like it. I like it. I've downloaded it and I've been playing it since Friday.
Rating system, I say we can go with the 5 mic system.
I'm gonna go 3.5.
3.5. I didn't even think of a rating, to be honest, so I gotta think about that one. I would probably go. I could go 3.5 to 4. I could go three and a half to 4.
Okay.
I go 3.5 to 4 because I like the album, but I think like Nas himself said in one of the songs where he said, "Y'all want the old Nas back? Go listen to an old Clue tape."
Yep.
It's not the rapping. Like I like the music on the album because the dude, he actually, I could tell that he plays and stuff. He's playing chords and
Heatmaker, ain't that his name?
Hit Boy.
Hit Boy, yeah, my bad. Yeah.
He's playing chords and bass lines and all that type of stuff. But every time Nas come out with a new album, I'm kind of like just looking for like a updated version of the 90s. But I don't think that's ever gonna happen. Like obviously that's not gonna happen. So, it's like whatever. So that's the only thing, sometimes it takes some time to like listen and get into it, because you go into it with like your ear with a certain expectation for the music or whatever. Like
Right.
you looking for Pete Rock and Primo and all that kind of sound, but that's not this.
Nah, nope. Ain't no boom bap in this joint.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I mean, I might. Yeah, I could go 3.5, 4. I can go 3.5, 4, and feel comfortable with that.
Okay, that's fair. That joint, the second song on it, the Blue Benz,
Right.
that joint goes. Like, that's one of the best songs by him that I've heard in a long time. I love that song.
I like Blue Benz. I like what comes after that? Car 85.
Yeah.
Uh, I like 27 Summers. I
That's the
like
jazz.
the majority of the album. Might be.
Now,
But I like the majority of the album.
now, I will say this. Right now, there's probably more songs that I would skip than actually listen to. Because uh after like 27 Summers, that's when the album starts to get a little choppy for me. Um, and it's like hit or miss. But those first 5, it's like boom, 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 boom. And then it gets started getting a little choppy for me. And that's the reason why I gave it. So the reason why I gave it a 3.5 is that I couldn't give it a 4 or 5 because, like I said, there are more songs on it that I skip than actually listen to. But the ones that I listen to, I really, really like. So they carry a lot of weight. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was anybody else, for the most part, or any other album where it's 13 songs on an album and I really only like 5 or 6 real heavy, I would be like, I would give it a 2.5, 3 probably, depending on, how much I like those songs. But like I really like the songs I like, I really, really do like them. Like the joint with Big Sean, go. The joint with Charlie Wilson, nice chill, pop the top, that type of music. Like I like that whole vibe. Like so the joint, like I said, the Jones I like, I really, really like, and that is what carries the weight of the album for me.
The only song that I really skip is actually the first one. I think because it didn't have any drums on it. It just, I mean, it's all right, but I could cut the album on and skip over that one and just start out with the Blue Benz joint, and I'd be all right.
I like that one. I like the title track. I like it. I like that one.
I mean, it's not a bad song. Like I said, I think it's just because it don't. it just don't have no drums on it. And it's just like I'll just expect. Eventually, am I expecting some drums to come in, but they don't never come. So I don't know. It's all right though. It's all right though.
What you think about the joint? I'm curious to know your thoughts on the Firm joint, the Full Circle featuring the Firm. Because when I saw that, like we talked the night it dropped, and I immediately went to my iTunes and started downloading it. And like iTunes do a lot of time, they don't release the whole album right away. Like at first I can only hear 3 songs, then it only let me hear like 6 songs, and then it gradually opened up the whole album. Well, for a while I saw the song with the Firm, but it wouldn't let me play it. And I was like, man, come on, I was geeking for that joint. Like, I mean, it's the Firm, it's Foxy, Cormega, like AZ, like, yeah. So what you think about that joint?
I like the Firm record, but just going off of what the original Firm sound was and the subject matter, I should say, it wasn't what I was expecting to hear.
I completely agree.
Because
I completely agree.
If you listen to everybody's verse was about relationship matter. He even Cormega was talking about females. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I ever heard a Cormega song about females. So, but
Never.
the original Firm album was what, 97? That was 97. So that's 23 years ago. People grown up.
People got kids. They don't
different mindset, different mindset. Yeah. So the subject matter, but I would like to see what they would do if they actually went back now and redid what the original what the original idea was with Dre doing the beats and see how it would end up, with the original 4 or what have. Not like no 15 songs or nothing like that, like 8, 9, 10 songs, something like that. See what it sounds like.
Yeah,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Nah, I was saying, an album nowadays don't even have 15. You don't have to have all them songs on it. So like 10 songs, that's cool with me.
Yeah. I was underwhelmed by that joint. Like I was really looking for, and you know what you said earlier makes a lot of sense. You be looking for that, that hardcore New York hip hop feel a lot of times. And a lot of cats just not on that. Like you said, you go through different things in your life, you grow up and the music matures or what have you. And so there's a different sound.
Right.
Which is kind of why myself and so many people like Griselda, because they give you that old New York sound. But so I guess subconsciously that's what I was looking for when I saw this record on the album, and it really wasn't that. And like you said, they talking about a lot of relationship stuff, which is cool or whatever. But I will say this: Fox Boogie got her man on that joint. She did. I was actually surprised at her verse. I ain't heard nothing from her. I ain't heard nothing with her Ingrid in a long time. But she sounded just like the old Firm Foxy to me on that jump. She was just, talking real slick, real aggressive. I enjoyed her verse probably more than everybody else's on that song.
First, the woman's name is Inga, not Ingrid.
Oh, my bad.
And she probably sound the same because the same person probably wrote it, Nas.
Oh, here we go.
I mean,
is that a fact? Is that a fact that he wrote her stuff back in those days?
That's who was writing the stuff. Unless she was on a Jay-Z song, it was him. They was both writing her stuff back then. But
okay.
The one thing that I could tell about her, because that she, they said that she lost her hearing or something. So I could tell that like I could tell her voice. They was putting a whole lot of studio magic to beef up her voice, though. I could tell that.
Yeah, it did sound like she was kind of like struggling to get it out, so to speak. She was almost, how sometimes when you hear DMC talk,
Right. Yeah.
It was kind of like that a little bit. But yeah, she was going though. She was going. I liked her on that joint.
I would say though, personally, I would say AZ had the best verse on that song. To me.
Yeah, maybe I gotta hear it again. I liked it. He sounded different too. But I mean, like you said, A's, Newport, smoking a rack of weed and drinking a lot of alcohol will do that to you. But
Right.
I like that song too. That's one of the later songs in the album that I did like. It wasn't what I expected, but it's a nice little joint. It's a nice little joint. It's a nice
Okay.
album. I will say that this is by far my favorite Nas album in quite some time.
So okay, so you brought up earlier when I named the song 27 Summers. You said that was a shot.
I believe
So
so.
so explain. I'm gonna give you the floor. So explain to the people why you think that's a shot and who it's a shot at.
So I think it's a shot at Hove, Jay-Z. And the reason why I think it's a shot is if you're familiar with Jay-Z's music over the years, he often refers to holding us down for 6 summers or 10 summers or whatever. He said that on a couple mixtape songs, and I know myself, I've used that in Jay-Z arguments to be funny or whatever. I held you down all these summers. And basically, that's what this Nas song is about. It's 27 summers, which is roughly how many summers it's been since Illmatic has come out. And in the song, he's basically rapping about, you know, his just due, his respect in the game that he has earned over his career in hip hop. And it's like he's basically saying, nah, I held you down for these 27 summers. And here I'm about to tell you why. And I think, like I said, I think it was a nice little rib shot at Hove, always talking about I held you down for all these summers. Like it's just it's too uncanny, way too much of a coincidence or whatever for it not to have that type of meaning to it. That's what I believe.
So do you think your boy do you think your boy would take that as a shot?
Yeah, he ain't no idiot. But I think Nas and Jay Z, specifically Jay Z, over the years have always done little shots. Like I don't think Jay Z has ever fully gotten over losing the ether battle or whatever. Um, and like me and you talked the other night, there's definitely a high level of respect and admiration between those two brothers. You know, they squashed their whole little situation and worked together and did projects and made music together and all that good stuff. But as you know, basically, it's no Big, it's no Pac. Really, if you really think about it, Jay Z and Nas are kind of the two guys that's really at the top of the totem pole right now. I mean, of course, you got your Big Daddy Kanes and your Rakims and your LLs, but you know, them dudes they don't really put out music like that. They're not really relevant right now. You know,
Right.
so if you talking about cats that have that iconic status that are still very much two ten knuckles in the game and really, you know, still putting out music and what have you, though it's them two. And then it's everybody else for the most part. And because of that, there's always gonna be that competitive nature between the two of them. And I just think that's this right here, that 27 Summer song is just another little brick on that wall between them two.
So I was watching a Breakfast Club. You know, Nas was on the Breakfast Club. I guess that was this morning or whatever. So I watched
Oh,
it this
okay.
morning. I don't know if it was yesterday or today, but I watched it this morning. So Charlemagne asked him, did Swiss hit him up about a versus? And Nas said, yeah, you know he did. And Charlemagne said, well, who was he talking about you going against? And he said, you know who he was, but he didn't say the person's name. And then when he asked him, so what you gonna do? He just like went on to the next question or whatever. So obviously Swiss is trying to get him and Jay-Z to come outside, but do you think it's gonna happen?
Hove not doing that. Hove not doing that.
You
He
don't
not
think he'll
doing
do it?
that. Nah, I don't think, and as much as I rock with Hove and I call him the GOAT and all that stuff, he don't want that. He don't want that smoke. I think Hove is the type of dude that um he is fearful of looking bad in front of people. And that now granted, I don't know him. Know him from a can of paint. I ain't no psychologist, none of that. This is just my opinion or whatever. But he appears to me to be the type of dude that um he don't really he don't want that type of smoke. He don't want to ever be in a position where he might lose and then may lose on such a grand stage. You know what I'm saying? Because, Hove for the most part, when he does battle people or have little issues, it's always subliminal shots, da da da. Ether was the only time I feel like when he made Takeover, I should say. So Nas and Mobb Deep or Prodigy, whatever, was the only time he really jumped out there and let it be known, saying people's name. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm going. Blah blah blah. For the most part, and he lost that battle. And like I said earlier, I don't think he ever really fully got over losing that battle. And I think, Jay-Z, he one of those dudes, he didn't do cribs back in the day. He don't do no social media, Instagram stuff or whatever. And I just think he's not gonna put himself out there to do that. Nas would do it. If Jay-Z was like, yeah, let's do it. I think Nas would be like, all right, bet. Let's go song for song, hit for hit, album for album, and let's rock and see what happens. But Hove ain't doing that. I wish he would, just for the culture alone.
Well, he's the dude that's always speaking about doing something for the culture, correct?
Yep.
And this is the time where people in the house, people ain't got nothing to do, people looking for entertainment because a lot of clubs and bars and all that stuff is closed. So you can't talk all this time. You talking about doing stuff for the culture, but then when they need you to do something for the culture, you scared? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Your
There's so
man,
many words there.
that's your man
Yeah.
in there.
I really think that I don't think he want that smoke. I really don't think he want that smoke.
Man, see, Sachi don't do scared. We can't do no scared, man. You can't talk the talk and then be scared to try to back it up, man. Come on, man. That's your king. That's your GOAT.
Yeah, man. I will admit, that's my man had 50 grand, but I just don't think he don't want he I don't think he want to be put on on a platform where he may lose. Well, personally, I don't think there's no way in hell he can lose. Not a hit for hit joint, because that's what the verses are. But I just, I don't know. Maybe it's not scared. Maybe he just don't like to be on Front Street like that. I don't know, but I just don't got him doing it for whatever reason. I just don't got him doing that. Nope.
Okay, so I'm gonna segue. This is a good time to segue into the elephant in the room. So you said that you don't think that Jay-Z ever got over officially all the way over the Ether battle.
Nope.
So this is the question I have for you. I'm gonna put it up on the screen and let you read it.
What does that mean? I don't understand what that means.
I mean, every time Nas puts out an album, your boy got to put some out. Every time. He got to secretly put some out to try to step on Nas' release. And so this time, Nas ain't really say nothing about putting out an album until maybe like 5 to 7 days before the album was supposed to come out.
Right.
So maybe your man was a little caught off guard, I should say. And then he didn't have anything that he could throw out there to to step on the momentum. So he went and called Pharrell and was like, "Hey, you working on anything?" Pharrell was like, "Yeah, I got I'm doing a remix of the Blackety Black song from CB4. You want to hop on the joint?" And that's what he did, and they put that out.
Is
So
that
what do
what
you
that
think?
song is? A remix of?
You don't remember the CB4 song? I'm black, y'all. I'm blackety black, and I'm black, y'all.
Oh yeah, yeah. It is. It is. It sure is. It
So
sure. It sure is. Matt, but let me just say real quick. Well, I guess if we talk about the song more, I'll save it for that. But go ahead. What you was about to ask me?
So, do you think that first of all, do you think that was a good decision? Does he look pressed throwing out that song just to be throwing it out there?
Yes,
And why does he keep doing that?
because what I said earlier, it's that competitive. It's that competitiveness, and the fact that he still ain't over either. So you know what? Every time you release an album, nigga, I'm gonna throw something in the air because Jay-Z has garnered the commercial. He has garnered the commercial success to where off rip, he gonna get talked about more. I mean, here it is. Nas put out a whole 13 song album, and Jay-Z is just featured on a Pharrell song, and everybody talking about the Jay-Z joint just as much, if not more, in some cases, than a Nas album. You know what I'm saying? So Jay-Z already knows, if he does what he continuously does for a certain degree, it's going to overshadow Nas and his album dropping. And once, twice, okay. But all these times, like it's literally been like 4 joints. Like, nah, that ain't no coincidence. And I honestly, until recently, when this whole thing just happened over the last few days, I really didn't really pay close attention to that. And then I had to think and look back and was like, damn, that nigga do be doing that shit. He do be dropping. It's if it's like on a weekend, it's the same weekend. This joint right here was the same day.
Because you remember last time when Nas put out the Kanye album, it was supposed to come out on a Friday, and then Kanye it ain't wind up coming out till like Saturday or whatever. As soon as the album came out on Saturday, Jay-Z and Beyonce dropped that Carter Family album.
Yeah.
And,
That's true.
And everybody was like, okay, he keeps stepping, but I don't know that's your man though.
He's a habitual line stepper when it comes to that, dog. He is. And I would love to know what Nas thinks about that. Like, I remember it was probably then the instance you talking about when they did the Carter album where 50 Cent was being interviewed by somebody, and 50 Cent was laughing like I don't know what. He was clowning the whole situation, and Nas and Jay-Z, and he was like, Jay, why you keep doing that? Why you keep doing that? He was laughing, and I was just like, damn, I wonder how Nas feels. Like, I would imagine it's either one or two things. He either like, man, I don't care. I'm Nas. Like, I'm gonna drop my drinks. It's gonna sell. People gonna stream it. I'm gonna get my bread off of it. It's gonna be another joint, Nas joint out there, and it is what it is. Or he probably like, man, this nigga's a sucker, man. Why he keep doing that? So I would love to know what he really thinks about that, because it's obviously purposefully done.
Well,
Obviously.
Charlemagne asked him about it today, and he act like he ain't know nothing about it. They read off the albums, like when he put out an album, and then when Jay put out an album, and he was like, "Oh, I ain't never think about that. I ain't even know."
He lying. He being politically correct.
Right.
And that's what, and you know what? That is kind of in the same realm of what I've talked about when I say about Jay-Z, when I'm like, Jay-Z not gonna do that. He ain't that type of dude. He don't want Nas too. Like, they too politically correct. Like, nah, man. Like, say what you know what it is. If you know about it, I know about it. All social media know about it. The Breakfast Club asked you about it. So much so that they went back and looked up all the albums and all the instances when this happened. Nigga, you know he know. You know he know. You know people that said it to him a million times over the course of these last few years. So you know he lying when he say, I ain't never think about that. I don't even know what you talking about. Nigga, you know. So why are you being so non-confrontational to the point where you're trying to play dumb? Like, nah, say, yeah, I know who would he be. At least make a joke out of it and be like, yeah, I know what homie be doing. I be peeping it, but it don't stop nothing over here. Like, I still get mine. Woo, woo, woo. Matter of fact, you know what? Next time he drop an album, I'm gonna drop some stuff and see, and everybody will laugh about it or whatever. But don't act like it's not happening or you don't know what's going on. Come on, man. Don't do that.
Yeah, he just act like he ain't know nothing about it. So it was kind of funny though.
Yeah, that's dumb.
But I think I don't think that Nas is the overtly confrontational person. He probably talks about it behind closed doors, but he ain't gonna talk about it on camera to Charlamagne and them.
But do you know that, like, not saying that they got to start like a whole takeover / ether beef again, but if Nas did speak on it and it became a thing, that could really open up a lot of promotional doors for the both of them and for hip hop in general. Like, Nas speaks on it, says his piece. Next time, he probably doing other promotions for the album, so other people are going to ask him about it too. He's speaking on it. Somebody somewhere going to stick a microphone in Jay-Z face and ask him about it, or you know, make Elliot Wilson or somebody, do a little interview with Jay-Z and ask it, and then if he says something about it, then that could prompt them to do a versus. Oh, off the strength of Jay-Z always putting it jump. Like, it could be huge. It could be a big, huge thing for hip hop and for the culture. But everybody want to be politically correct, man. I don't get it. It ain't like it's real beef. It ain't like it's real beef. Ain't nobody about to be not liking each other. None of that. It ain't about to be no West Coast, East Coast type of thing. It could just be, again, just competitive banter and that lead, and it's a win-win for us because somebody gonna make more music, somebody gonna put some new joints out, and we gonna all reap the benefits of it.
Well, I think that's going to take me to the next point. I think because they're both over 40, I think your man is like 6. I think your man is like 60 now, but Nas is still like mid 40s or whatever. I think your man like 60 now. I think they're at the point now where they're not even trying to get into that lane. They just trying to stick to like the corporate. I think they do rap for fun at this point. So they're not really trying to. I don't think the battle energy is still there. So it's more of a like whatever.
I would think that would be fun to them though. Like, it would. I think that would. I would think that would make it more interesting to them and more fun to have this little back and forth. You know what? Like, I would love for them to go back and forth about this, and because of this, they do kind of what. Remember when Fab and Jadakiss used to do this thing every Friday where they would put out like a new song or mixtape or
Fridays and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like, do that. Like, every 1 week, Nas put out a new song. Bow. The next week, Jay-Z put out a new song. Bow. The next week, Nas put out a new song with an old Rick Ross beat. Bow. And then the next week, Jay-Z put out a new song with an old Lil Wayne beat. Bow. And then the next week, Nas got a brand new song with Derringer. And the next week, Jay-Z got a new song with Alchemist. And I mean, they could almost even do like themes, you know, one week a gangster gutter drug tail song, the next week a relationship song. And like the possibilities are endless. And it ain't about making money. It ain't about solidifying yourself in the game because they both already stamped. So it's just about having fun. It wouldn't take a whole lot of effort for them at all. It ain't like they got to be, you know, going around clearing music and all that. It's just straight hip hop. And I would think, even though, like you said, they so corporate, especially Jay-Z, you know, corporate and all that NFL and all that Bama, all that stupid stuff, like this would still like tap into that hip hop. Like you said, for the culture. And it really wouldn't take much. But it would, especially at a time like now, where in our culture we got a lot of bad things happening. A lot of bad things happening. It could be bigger than verses. Like that joint, it would be ridiculous if they did something like that. And I don't understand why they wouldn't allow that to happen. But hey, like I said, who knows? I don't know.
Okay, so to my next point, being as though, like I said, they're both over 40 at this point, and like with the versus thing, which was when they first started the versus, they were marketing it as a battle, but we can see over time it's really become more like the two artists celebrating one another.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've got Jay, we got Nas, they, you know, older guys. We had Snoop and X. You know, we just heard Method Man with who was Method Man with? Not a versus, but he was on
I don't know.
he was on a song with Griselda.
Oh yeah, he was on the joint with damn, I don't know if it was Benny. I can't remember if it was Benny
It's the other one,
or
Conway. It was Conway. So we heard Meth on that. I saw Meth and Red got a song with Dave East or whatever. So being as though, you know, we first started listening to hip hop, I know I wasn't even a teenager yet. I was probably
Right.
10. Wasn't shit. Curtis Blow was out when I was like 5. So,
Right.
you know, for a long time. So how do you see, like, so we never saw 40 and 50-year-old rappers before. There was no such thing. Like LL
Nope.
and them was teenagers like we were and stuff. So what do you think? How do you think hip hop direction of hip hop is going now, where we still got teenagers or 20-something rappers, but we got folks that still like relevant at 40, 50 years old?
I think it's great. And I think that finally hip hop is becoming a genre of music that is just like rock and roll. You know, like, you know, bands like Rolling Stones, them bands 102. And they, you know, Mick Jagger and them, they old as a mug. And they still out here doing shows and touring and stuff. YouTube, they still out here. They old too. You know, even, you know, singers like Tina Turner and Smokey Robinson and people like that, you know, that's singers, they still out here performing. And I don't see anything wrong with, you know, rappers that are 40, 50 years old still out here performing. I hope Big Daddy Kane and Rakim do a verses and each of them put out a project off the strength of their verses. I would love for LL to do more music.
I saw L was just on with Fat Joe. He said he's getting ready to put out an album. LL, that
Who?
is.
Oh yeah,
LL.
see?
And by the way, somebody made a comment about you. I put it on the screen.
I saw. I don't even know what he means, but I see it.
Yeah, so the rappers over 40, I think another thing that I think hip hop in general needs to do, like if you've worked in the industry before, like radio before, you know there's different formats. So like if you're in the DC area, you have your urban AC channels, which means urban. It's urban adult contemporary, which basically means black old
Right.
music. So in
Right.
DC, that would be HUR and 102.3. But they usually play R&B. I don't know of like a hip hop urban AC station where they would
Well,
play the new stuff by the older rappers. Like, what radio station do
well,
I turn on to hear the new Wu-Tang and the new Rakim or the new L or the new Kane?
well, that's a, you know what? Wow, that's a very interesting dynamic that you bring up, because I was about to fix my mouth to say, shit, 93 and 95 will play it, but I I only think they will play that from certain people. Like, I think they'll play like a Jay-Z, a Nas, and honestly, that might be it. Maybe a Dr. Dre joint that somebody do or whatever. But like, I don't think 93.9 or 95 will play like a Rakim song or Big Daddy Kane, or maybe not even an LL. But what I will say is that 96.3 and 102.3, they have started to play more hip hop songs. Now, mind you, it's old hip hop, like old Biggie,
Right.
old Busta Rhymes, old whatever was mainstream hip hop. So I think it would be extremely beneficial to those urban adult contemporary channels, stations, to start playing not only old stuff from, stuff that would, like, I think they could play Cream. They could play Cream. They could play some old Biggie joints. They could play old Tupac joints. They could play whatever. And through that, start playing some of the newer, if these guys started making new music, start playing their new music. Even if you only got to play it at night or on the weekends, it'll still be played. And you'll probably have more people like us that don't listen to the radio at all, really, a whole lot these days, will start to listen to the radio more and, be and tune into that. I mean, it couldn't hurt them.
Now, I had this idea maybe like 5 years ago or whatever, but like maybe 3 years ago, I was riding in the car and I don't remember what radio station. I think I must have been, I don't know what car I was in, but I think what's the radio that comes in your car? Like, they give you like 90 days for free or whatever.
Sirius XM.
Sirius XM, yeah. So I must have been in my other car or whatever. So, because I've listened to Sirius XM, and Fat Joe was putting out an album around that time, and they were interviewing him, and he started talking about what we're talking about right now with the hip hop urban AC station. And I remember him saying that LL was starting one on Sirius XM. But this was like 3, 4, 5 years ago. So it might be one on Sirius XM, but I have no idea what it's called.
Yeah, I have Sirius XM in my joint, and I don't know. It could be, because I remember when I first got it, I tried to find and lock down, all the hip hop joints and all the R&B joints, and I didn't, unless I missed it, and I just didn't. I didn't see a channel that was like urban adult contemporary hip hop. But it might be, and I
want to
just,
say I want to say it might have been called Backspin. Might have been called Backspin. I'm not sure.
It might be one. It might be one.
But I think that would go. I think that would go a long way, because if you listen, even like listening to the Nas album, you can tell the very last song on the album, which says it's a bonus track or whatever, but you can tell that's the one where Hit Boy was like, let me try to get you a club joint, and he was just like, all right, I'll go with it, but just put that shit at the end of the album or whatever, because they're not gonna play Car 80 85 and none of that stuff on 93 or 95. It got to be trap. So if you're old, if you 40 years old, 50 years old, and you still making trap, and not only are you 40, 50 and you still making trap, but you was out in the 90s. If some of these 40-year-old dudes came out in 2010, like, you know,
Like 2 Chainz.
Like 2 Chainz or somebody, like that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But for Nas to be trying to make trap songs when he came out in the 90s, it would be corny. Rather as if you can just make your regular stuff and still have a lane to get played, it would be more, I think it would be more beneficial.
I agree.
And I noticed, and you know, like today, like I don't, if I listen to the radio, it's mainly sports talk or what have you. But the radio today is mainly, you know, like playlists. Like Spotify has Rap Caviar. That's the radio. Apple has Rap Life, the Rap Life playlist. That's the radio. So I looked at them. I was like, let me see if they put any of these Nas records in the playlist. So I think the Rap Life joint, it put the song that I'm talking about, the one that's the very last song on the album, they put that in the playlist. And I think Spotify might have put the Firm record in the playlist, but it was like way down the list. But I looked at the list, and you know, for hip hop to be you know, a New York based music, when you look at those playlists, everything on there is from somebody down south. Or maybe from it was the baby, little baby, the baby, little baby, the baby, little baby, Gunna,
all these babies, yeah.
Oh, and Drake, of course. And I was like, damn, man, like I'm probably like super out of touch with where hip hop is for the youth nowadays, because I ain't really want to hear it. Some of it is okay, I guess, but I just don't really be hearing too many bars out of them dudes, man.
Well, you know, you're not. I had a really interesting conversation with Trey, my son Trey.
Right.
He'll be 15 years. He'll be 15 years old this year, and I sometimes when we be in the car, I'll let him hook up his phone so I can hear whatever he's listening to, and it's like you just said, the baby, Lil Baby, uh, Gunners, and a rack of people that I never even heard of. You know, Pop Smoke, rest in peace, and people like that, whatever. But I asked him one day. I was like, so I said, do y'all people your age and your generation, do y'all pay attention to the lyrics? Like, does lyrics count? You know, what the guy or the girl is saying and actually saying in the song, their content, how they put the words together, whatever. And he flat out was like, no. He was like, you know, Dad, it ain't about, he said it ain't about lyrics at all. It's really about the vibe of the song and how the song feels. You know, he was like, it's the beat and the cadence in which that they are rapping that we pay attention to, and what he's describing is what a lot of the young people call now bop. We called bop. Bop was something completely different to us when we was coming up, but that's what they say. It's a bop. It's a bop. Like when the WAP song came out with Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, that's what everybody was saying. Oh, that's on a bop. That's a bop, and that's what they mean. It's like it's a vibe, the feel of the song, how the song sounds, and I understand what they mean because
I get it.
some of this, I like some of it. You know, I got some of it in my phone. I got some of the babies and that tough stuff in the phone because it do make you bop your head. It do give you that, you know, that feeling of being in the club and you just, you know, vibing off the music. You ain't paying attention to what they saying. They could be talking about crazy stuff, but you just feeling the beat and the whole vibe of the song. And that's all they pay attention to now. That's it. It ain't about, it has progressed to just how the song feels to them. And, you know, the only thing I say to a lot of our peers and people in our age is that, if you want bars and you want lyrics, it's people out here for that. You know what I'm saying? And that stuff you see on the radio, and you hear your kids listen to, that ain't it. But if you want bars and you want lyrics and you want content, it's out here. It just don't, unfortunately, it doesn't get the kind of shine that other stuff get, because as we all know, young people push the envelope. Whatever the young people are doing, because those are the people that streaming. I mean, we stream and stuff too. We buy music, but they really buy music. I mean, they
Music
boom, boom, boom,
music
boom.
is a young person's game.
Absolutely.
Once you have your run when you're 20s, if you can make it into your 30s, that's good. But it's pretty much, I mean, Prince ain't never sell Purple Rain numbers again. Michael Jackson never did Thriller numbers again. It just is, it
Nope.
just is what it is. You're gonna have your run. As far as selling records now, you can still sell out a show and stuff like that. Like Jay-Z ain't got to sell any more records. He can still sell out a show. But as far as records, that's it. But I wanted to touch on this because you were just talking about how to the youth, it's not really about bars anymore. It's more per se the vibe or the bop or what have you. So Master Flex recently went on his YouTube channel and did a top 10 living MCs. So that's no Biggie, no Tupac, nothing like that. Living MCs, top 10 living MCs. And I'm going to run the list down to you. You want me to go from 1 to 10 or 10 to 1?
Do like he did, go from 10 to 1.
All right, so at number 10, he has Black Thought. Now, I just want y'all to listen first, and then we'll go back and talk to these people. So at number 10, he has Black Thought. At number 9, he has Jadakiss. At number 8, he has Pusha T. I want to comment on that, but I'm gonna wait. At number 7, he has Kendrick. At number 6, he has J. Cole. At number 5, he has Drake. At number 4, he has Rakim. At number 3, he has Nas. At number 2, he has Andre 3000. I definitely want to talk about that. And at number 1, he has Jay-Z. So before we get 10 toes down into that, just off basics, do you think that's a solid list?
I do.
You have any? You got any problems?
The only problem, see, these things are so, subjective from person to person that we do it, we battle, we debate and all that type of stuff, but there really shouldn't be that much of a debate. It's just personal opinion. But for the purposes of going through the list, I don't like that he has 3000 and Rakim on the list, because what are you putting them on the list over stuff that's 15, 20, 30 years old? Like, what are you putting them on the list for? Stuff that's really, really old. Like, nah. So there's that.
I mean, if you're all-time great, if you was all-time in the 80s, you can't just not be on the list. If we were doing an all-time list of like R&B cats, we would not put Prince and Michael Jackson on it because their run was the 80s.
Well, I would still put Prince and Michael Jackson on it because it probably ain't a whole lot of R&B cats that I would put up there with, like, after Usher, Chris Brown, and maybe even Trey Songz, and I don't even really know who else I would put up there here in recent times. Like, I would throw them in there. I don't know. Like, if we were doing a top 10 of all time list, then yes. But if he didn't say of all time, he just said top 10 alive right now. So I guess his list, I'm speaking in semantics now, but I guess his list is an all-time list. So if it's an all-time list, all right, cool. But the way I was reading it off the break was just like top 10 right now, like whatever. But
he said top 10 living MCs.
Yeah, I don't know. Like as much as I love Rakim is the first rapper that really made me be like, damn, did you hear what he said? Let me rewind that. Like to me, he's the first rapper that I would say, for me personally, gave us like bars. A lot of dudes was hat, cat, bat, snap, that, you know what I'm saying? But Rakim, he was a little bit more intricate. Him and Big Daddy Kane, really. But Rakim, for me, first was, the first dude that really gave us bars. But if you put Rakim in a battle right now with,
Oh, if we talking about a battle, nah.
Well, or just in general, I don't think Rakim could still hang with the cats that's out now. Like I don't think Rakim can make a better rap song than Dave East. I don't think he could. And as far as 3000, I really don't know what 3000 can do. For all we know, 3000 can't even rap no more. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know when the last time that we really heard him spit like that. I feel like he's done something on somebody's jump recently, but yeah, I don't know. So I guess that's probably the reason why I wouldn't put them on my top 10. But aside from that, I'm okay with the list. I'm really surprised he put Drake up there because him and Drake always had their issues. So I'm surprised to have him on there, especially at what he got him at 5?
He's got Drake at 5. I wanted to say the
over
Life
Cole and Kendrick. That's heavy.
The Life podcast asked, did I say Kendrick? Well, basically, did Funk Flex say Kendrick? And yes, he has Kendrick at number 7.
7.
Now, with that being said, so yeah, he's got Kendrick at number 7. I mean, if we just going through the list, right? Okay, so he's got Black Thought at number 10. Black Thought can definitely rap. That's not up for a debate. But
Jaguar Rice said he had ghost. He be stealing niggas' rhymes.
she
I'm
did.
Just playing.
She was jumping out
she
there.
Did
That's
say
indeed,
that.
y'all.
She did
jumping out there, but he could.
But no,
Black Thought, he can rap, but he can rap. But can I put Thought in a top 10 list with? Can you be on the top 10 list without a classic album? Let's start there.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Black Thought
just put his first album out this past year, right? It only had about 6 songs on it.
Yeah. It was nice though, but yeah, that was a good album. It was a really good album, but yeah, I wouldn't call it a classic though.
And then so I'm gonna put him over here to the side for right now. Okay, so he got Kiss at number 9. Does Kiss have a classic album?
No, but Kiss has been a part of classic projects. I would say, and I think Kiss
Biggie's
is
album.
Biggie's. When I say classic projects, I mean generally speaking. So songs, albums, stuff like that. Yeah. I think Kiss deserves a spot in people's top 10. He does. I think so.
Would you put Kiss over Fab? I know he won the Versus, But as an MC, would you put
Absolutely.
Kiss over Fab?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so this is the one I want to talk about, and I don't know what happened. I don't know how this has happened over the past 5 to 10 years or whatever. Okay, so he's got Pusha T at number 8 of top 10 rappers alive. Pusha T. When did Pusha T all of a sudden become one of the greatest rappers ever? When did this happen? I missed it.
When he battled, I think a lot of people put him up there when he ate Drake.
Yeah.
Not saying that's valid. I ain't even necessarily saying that's valid, but I think that's what a lot of people why he became, he got put in a lot of people's top whatever. Is when he battled Drake and he came out with that joint that everybody liked, and he put out that Drake had a son, a secret son, and all that type of stuff. Yeah, that
But
clearly, because before that, wasn't nobody really. I mean, people liked him and people talked about him, but they don't talk about him. They didn't talk about him before the way they talk about him now.
But see, it
Go
was
ahead, I'm listening.
They started putting him on this list maybe not bad. Maybe 5 years ago or what have you. People started putting him on this list as if he was a top 10 rapper, and I just don't get it. I think as far as the Drake thing, I think he won the Drake beef because he bitched him. I wouldn't say he out rapped him. He punked him. I should have said that. He punked him. I wouldn't say he out rapped him in order to put him in the top 10 MCs list. And just for me, Pusha T rap, it's 20 years and Pusha T still rapping about the same exact subject matter. He 45 years old, still got plaits in his head, man. I can't respect it. Can't respect it. Can't take it serious. So, I don't know. But okay, I see the Life podcast is telling me that Kiss has enough stuff to be on a list. He has a lot of music. Okay, but does Kiss have a classic album in your opinion? The Life podcast.
My bad.
All good, all good. Okay, so we had Pusha at 8, right? So now we got Kendrick at 7. I think Kendrick at
I don't feel
this stuff gets.
I don't feel the way.
I was just gonna say it gets kind of dicey.
I don't feel the way a lot of people feel about Kendrick. Like I like him. I think he can rap. I think he, is a talented MC. But I don't put him in such high regard like a lot of people do. I don't. I don't think he got all these classics like everybody say he do. And that's just me personally. Can the dude rap? Yes. Does he have good?
What's the name of the album? Just because you said classics. The first album is a classic. It's actually his second album, but it's the first mainstream.
Yeah, it's the one with the van, the picture of the van.
That's a classic.
I can't remember that.
That's a classic. Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
That's a nice joint. That's a nice joint. That's a nice
joint.
To
Pimp a Butterfly. That's kind of that's an experimental album, which I can respect. As an artist, you want to do what you want to do, but is it a classic? No. The damn album sold a lot of records, but other than the song that was on the radio, I don't even remember what was on that album. The damn album. And I didn't even like that song that was on the radio. Something.
Yeah.
Like,
be humble or whatever.
Yeah, there you go. Be humble. But a lot of dudes like Kendrick be getting at a lot of dudes with like subliminals and stuff, and it seems like people don't. It seems like they kind of be scared to go back at him. So
because off the strength of that time he went at a whole everybody. Like he's still eating off that. He's still eating off that because that was such a big moment in hip hop, right? You know, it's almost like Odell Beckham Jr., right? Odell Beckham Jr. is still eating off that catch he had against the Cowboys on Monday night, right? You know,
Right.
that doesn't mean that he isn't a really good receiver and he's not a good player, but that that catapulted him to superstar status and made him this this almost bigger than life person within the sport. Same thing happened with Kendrick. He come out with his song. He does something that somebody ain't really did on a mainstream level like that since 50 did How to Rob or something like that. And that wasn't even a mainstream song or whatever. Not that that song was mainstream either. But anyway, social media made it mainstream. And the joint was like that. And he was going on everybody. And that was such a big moment in hip hop that he's still eating off that. That is what he still, is people still riding that wave off of. If that did not happen, if that moment in hip hop did not happen, I don't know if people would really revere him the way they do. I think he would be kind of like how I think he would almost be kind of like how I don't know, like Travis Scott or somebody like he would be a guy that get money, he do sell out shows or whatever, but not like this king of hip hop type of dude, which is how a lot of people view him.
Okay, so looking at this list, so he's got Kendrick at 7, Cole at 6, and Drake at 5.
You see Phil's
That's three
comment?
dudes that all came out around the same time. Yeah. So it's 3 dudes. That's 3 dudes. It's 2 other dudes that came out around that same time that they used to put in the, in the conversation. So that would be Big
Hold on.
Sean.
Hold, before you say that, who are the 3 dudes? Kendrick and who else?
Cole and Drake.
Kendrick. Oh, okay. All right.
So it was 2 other dudes that came out in that same class, if you want to say. And that would have been Big Sean and Wale. Now, Big Sean, he's cool. I guess he does what he wants to do when he wants to. But Wale, I don't really hear his name mentioned too much anymore. So he's out of that top 5 of that class conversation. The newer generation has like the baby or somebody like that gotten his name.
Yeah. Wale don't. Man, I hate talking about Wale, man. I do. And you know why I hate talking about Wale? It's because I really don't be having a lot of good things to say about him. But I want to have good stuff to say about him. Like, I wish Wale was on Kendrick Lamar's level. Like, just off the strength of him being home team. Like, he from the DMV. Like, I want to see him. I would love to see him on that level and be revered as such. But to be quite honest with you, to me, he just don't make good music. Like when he put out joints, they be boring to me. They just be boring to me. And this he eat good. He sells a lot of units for old school term. He sell a lot of units, but all those units that he sell, he always got somebody singing on the song with him. It's always a sing-songy song. And the person that sings the song steals the song from him. The person that is the singing on the song, it almost becomes their song. And I think those are the reasons why he don't really get the love that I would like for him to see, that he definitely would like for himself to get, and the reason why he don't get mentions with the Coles and the Kendricks and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake, even Meek Mill, they get spins. They get spins on the radio. You hear them all the time, so they become a household name. While they get some of those same spins, but again, the songs are always sing-songy. Oh, and Butterfly, and all these songs, and that don't resonate. That don't resonate with niggas. That don't resonate with dudes. So if you ask a woman or a girl, it might be some girls that might put Wale in their top whatever, but dudes ain't gonna put him up there because Wale don't have no joint. He don't have no bangers. He don't. I don't even really think he got no club anthems all like that. You know what I mean? And I think that hurts him in the long run.
He had no hands. But look, ma, no hands. I don't really know his music like that, but
who was on that song with him?
Don't get me the line like Waka Flocka or somebody.
Waka jive. Oh, that ass in those jeans. Ain't that song? Ain't that song?
Don't give me the line. Don't give me the line.
I don't know, bro. I just think that he just don't.
Okay, so I want to go to his top 5, right? So his top 5 is Drake, number 5, Rakim at 4, Nas at 3, 3000 at 2, and Jay-Z at number 1. So just off rip, I don't know how you can have Andre 3000 at number 2 on a rap list.
I agree. For what you got him up there? Let me say something, and this gonna ruffle some feathers. And as soon as you told me that this topic of Funk Flex List was gonna come out, I knew I wanted to say this, and I knew it was gonna ruffle some feathers. But I don't care. That's kind of what I do. 3000.
Hold up. I'm glad you just admitted that. Yes, that is what you do. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I do. But I'll be serious. The things that I say, I don't say them like, oh, I know this going to troll and this going to ruffle feathers. No, I say it because I truly believe it. Now, I may know that people might not agree, but whatever. 3000. I think a lot of people put him so high on their list because it's the cool thing to do, not because they really feel that way about him. Because other than early Outkast, and by early Outkast, I mean Southern Playalistic and what was the joint after that?
The second album was the Elevators album. I can't think of the name of it right now.
Other than those real early Outkast joints.
You only like the first album. You've been hating on Outkast since their first album.
I like the first two. The second one was nice too. But other than the
second album is Me and You, Your Mother and Your Cousin.
That's what I'm saying. I like the first two Outkast projects for the most part. But other than them early joints, what are you putting him? What are you putting him in such high regard for? You putting him in such high regard because of the Player Anthem song, or because a random song with Jay-Z, or like, I think it's the cool thing to do. It's the cool thing to say, yeah, AT Aliens. It has become the cool thing to say, Andre 3 Stacks, he up there, my whatever. But what are you basing that off of? Because he ain't really rapped and got busy in a project in a long time.
I think what 3000 did, or what he does, is he gets on a song once every 3 or 4 years, raps like 64 bars or whatever, 32, 64 bars or something like that, and everybody be like, "Oh, it's the greatest thing ever," and then he goes away. It's kind of like something that they say in the 40 the 48 laws of power or whatever. So he come in and then he get out, and everybody be like, "Oh, he's so great," but it's only one verse.
That ain't enough.
Yeah, like,
That ain't enough, man. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll be foolish to say that the dude slums, he whack. No, he get busy. He can rap. When he put his mind to it, he can rap. He can whatever, whatever. But I put him in the same category as CeeLo Green. Because CeeLo Green get busy. But uh just like 3000, he became a weirdo and started doing other type stuff. And he ain't really rap, but CeeLo, he's rapped here, maybe not even as much as 3000, but he's been on a feature here and there throughout the years or whatever. And he showed people he still got it. But I just, like I said, I think it's very fashionable, almost in vogue, to say, yeah, Andre 3000, he in my top five. Why?
oh, okay. So the Life podcast says add to all the great Outcast versus 2, though. So with that being said, do you think that you can put a person in the all-time top 10 list that doesn't have their own album? Like we consider Prodigy to be a great rapper, but he got his own albums that proved it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we seen Ghost, we knew Ghost can rap, but Ghost got his own albums also to prove it outside of Wu-Tang. Andre got one album and it's only one rap song on the whole album. You know what I'm saying? So
I throw
I,
that out the window like Cleo.
I, I know, I recall. I recall. But it's only one rap song on the whole
Yeah,
album. So how can I put
yeah.
you on your one album? You basically being Prince. You trying to be like a fake Prince or something. I can't put you on the rap.
He not
I
in
can't put
mine.
him on there. I can't do it.
He not
I
on
love
mine.
Andre
I
though. I
don't.
love Andre, but
Me
I
too.
can't do
Me
it.
too. Now if you want to talk top 50 and those type numbers, then all right, cool. Yeah, he's earned his spot like that. But we talking top 10, especially if we talking of all time, when you including dead rappers, your Bigs, your Pops, your Puns, your Big L's. Nah, Joe. Nah.
You know what? That just made me think of something. The other day I was talking to the Life podcast, and I asked him. I had posted something on Instagram about, like, take away these rappers, who's your top 5? So he put Nipsey in the top 5 or whatever. Or who's in a Mount Rushmore or something like that. So he put Nipsey in the top 4 or 5 or whatever, and so I had to ask him about it, and I don't even remember exactly what he said, but I don't see how Nipsey can be in the top 5 or 10 conversation either.
See, once again, you making me talk about something that's gonna ruffle people feathers. Nobody, nobody really rocked with Nipsey like that before he died. Now, I'm not saying that people didn't know about him. I'm not saying people didn't know about him. I'm definitely not saying that there weren't people in this country that didn't like him and that weren't Nipsey fans. Absolutely. But I will say that right before he died, Nipsey started gaining a lot of momentum in hip hop. He was cooking, he was bubbling, and he probably was about to be the next, you know, J. Cole or Wale or whatever. That young dude relatively that's about to whatever. You hear him on the radio type stuff and all over people joints. But generally speaking, before that man died, people. You would think that he was Tupac Part Two after he died. Now, granted, it was very tragic. That man did a lot for the community out there in Los Angeles, and he was a great. He appeared to be a really great guy, and we lost a man that really stood for something. We really did, and that alone makes it tragic. But as far as music wise and hip hop wise, I just feel like people weren't checking for him when he was out.
Okay, so I got a couple people. I got a couple people in the comments telling me that you are categorically wrong.
Of course, they're gonna say that.
Now, let me put this comment up for you.
Hold on, go ahead. I'm listening. I gotta try to hook. My battery running low, so let me.
All right,
Whatever. But go ahead.
Okay, so we got Mr. Eric Jones of Fort Washington legend in the building, who's now part of the Crenshaw Mafia. He says that Nipsey was a legend in LA before he died. But I will ask you, Mr. Jones, was Nipsey a legend in LA because of his music or because of his actions in LA? That would be my question. No, Mr. The Life podcast, I knew who Nipsey was, but he wasn't anyone special to me. I knew who Nipsey was when I was still living in New York. I remember when he put out the album for $100 in LA. I mean, and Jay-Z bought 10 copies or something stupid like that. Or whatever. So that was a while back. He was basic to me. He wasn't any like, he wasn't anyone special to me. But, I liked his music. He was cool. But I agree that before he passed away, it seemed like when Nipsey passed away, it was a whole bunch of fake love. That's what I gathered. Like, they putting him at the Staples Center. I mean, I don't know. That just seemed kind of weird to me. I never heard a Nipsey song on the radio. I never heard anybody. I never pulled up beside anybody at the light and they was pumping Nipsey. So I don't know. I don't know. And even as an MC, I don't think he was like. I don't think he was a high level MC personally, but I didn't listen to him all like that to be able to go totally in depth. But if you guys say so,
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree with everything you said. I agree with everything you said. I think it was a lot of. I don't even necessarily call it fake love, like brand new love. I think it was a lot of brand new love for him. And of course, Eric will say that Nipsey got a lot of love in LA. Chuck Brown get a lot of love in DC. That don't mean that people in Cleveland, Ohio love Chuck Brown. You know what I'm saying?
You call it Nipsey backyard?
I'm using that as a comparison to say, of course, Nipsey got a lot of love on the West Coast in general because I'm sure in the West Coast they played his music on the radio probably. He probably did a rack of shows out there. And like you alluded to, Fred, Nipsey did a lot outside of music for that whole community of Los Angeles and California and all that type of stuff. So yeah, and Eric was over there to see all that happen. He'd been living over there for quite some time, so he saw that. But me, as a person that lives all the way on the East Coast, that considers himself someone that had his ear, to hip hop and hear about people like you, Fred. I ain't hear nobody bumping no Nipsey. I don't remember people talking about Nipsey all like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember people saying, "Oh, Nipsey came out with a new jump. You need to check that out." You know what I'm saying? Our man Pops never hit me up and texted me and was like, "Hey, young, you get that new Nipsey? That thing, yeah." Between him, Pops, you, my man Jimmy, my man Peanut, Lamar. Them niggas ain't never hit me up about no Nipsey Hussle jump. And these y'all are dudes that I talk to about hip hop all the time. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I just think that, in his death, he became this bigger than life person. Like I said, almost like Tupac too. And I mean, I ain't mad at it. You know, he a black man that was out here doing some things. Yup, man, put him up there, like whatever. But if we talking about music and we talking about hip hop, I, you know, I mean, I ain't gonna judge nobody from putting them in their top 10, but I just look at that a little bit like that joint got a little asterisk beside it, if you ask me.
Okay, so there's a young man in the comments saying that we are old and out the loop, and they wish they could come in here and talk to us about this. You think I should
Yes, bring them on here.
You think I should bring them on here?
Bring them on here.
Let me see if I can let me see if I can get them on here, y'all. Yes, indeed.
We old. That like Nipsey is 19 years old. Yeah, come on. And whole time he was out for a long time.
Man, hold on. Mr. The Life Podcast, you got to send me your email address because I don't have it saved in this email. Yeah, Nipsey. I mean, top
10 though.
I wouldn't even put Nipsey in my top 5 California rappers though.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying? So,
hell no. No. Not with your Ice Cubes and Snoops and nah. Game. Nah, Joe. No. I'm not putting Nipsey over MC8. I'm sorry. I'm not.
Oh, yeah, MC, yeah. So Mr. Jones says he could only speak for LA. He might actually be similar to Chuck Brown.
I agree with that. That's LA though. We not with this conversation ain't just about LA. We talking about hip hop in general. And yeah.
All right, so unless the Life Podcast send me his email address, I know what it is, but I don't have it saved in this one. And for order for me to send it, I'm gonna go to. Oh, well, no, we didn't get to. Oh, okay. So what? Let me see. He had Nas at number 3, I believe. We said Andre at number 2 and Jay-Z at number 1. So of course I know you got your man at number 1. You know, with all that commercial stuff and all that. And, you know, whatever.
I don't put Jay-Z on these. I don't put him on these lists anymore. I don't do that. I don't even. I mean, it's cool that he put Jay-Z at number 1, but if I was making a list, I don't put Jay-Z on these little lists anymore. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
I don't do it. I ain't doing it.
What do you mean? What do you mean you don't put Jay-Z on these little lists? What does that mean? I don't understand what that means.
Duke on another level. He on another level, man. And okay, let me be real. Let me be serious because we having a serious hip hop conversation. Seriously speaking, yes, you can put Jay-Z on it. He's an artist just like anybody else. But yes, there is a part of me that don't like to include him in a lot of these lists and things of that nature, because I do feel like Jay-Z is on another level. And you know, the one reason why I feel like Jay-Z is on such another level than probably any other artist in the hip hop genre ever is because Jay-Z, more than anybody else, has sustained that, has basically held on, generally speaking, to that top spot for such a long time. Like, I mean, for a long time, generally speaking, the hip hop community has considered Jay-Z, if not the top rapper, always the top 1, 2, maybe 3 at times. And Like I was alluding to earlier, the only other person that you can kind of sort of say that about is Nas. But the only reason why I still put Jay-Z over Nas, even in that discussion, is that there is a large sector of people that don't enjoy a lot of Nas's recent music. And you know that to be true because that's why Nas specifically said in some of his raps, "Oh, you looking for the old Nas?" Or and then in that last album he put out, he had a verse. He had a song where he had a verse where he basically alluded to people saying his beats and all that stuff be trash, and then he was like, "Yeah, but I still sold," and blah 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 blah. So obviously. The criticisms of Nas is a thing that's out there in the universe, and people talk about it, people say it, whatever, whatever. But as far as Hove, it's like anytime you could talk to a young dude or old dude or whatever, and they give it an interview, more times than not, Jay-Z gonna always be their top MC or somewhere at the top of their list almost every single time. And that dude has sustained that level of just being elite for a really long time. And I just think that that's crazy that he has done that. And I feel like the nigga, as far as rapping, he might be getting better. He still might be getting better. So yeah.
You know what? While you were talking, it just made me realize that Lil Wayne ain't on the list.
Nope. He burnt out.
How do you feel about that? Would you have him on the list? Top 10 living rappers?
I can't, man. And the reason why I can't.
There was a whole era where he was
the greatest rapper alive.
And then he brought in the greatest female and like Michael Jackson rapper with Drake.
Yep.
So he got to get something. He got to get something. He got to get some type of shine.
You know what? If somebody put him up there still, I can't be mad at him. But me personally, I wouldn't. And the biggest knock I have against him, and the reason why I wouldn't put him so high on any list, is because he to me, he has fallen off dramatically. And I think his lifestyle, i.e., drugs and syrup or whatever lean or whatever he does, whatever he's into, I think that has taken away from his creativity and his ability to rap and get busy, because the last few times I've heard him, I'm like, what is he talking about? What is this? What is this I'm listening to?
So you think Wayne has fallen off that far?
To me personally, yeah. You know, I used to be a big Wayne fan. We used to go back and forth about, like, I used to really rock with dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But
you know, I never really listened to him at all, so I really can't even comment like that.
Yeah, like you said, he had a really good, significant run where he was the man over Jay-Z, even, or they was here. You know what I'm saying? And it was Jay-Z, Nas, Lil Wayne, and Lil Wayne for a while was that dude, but whatever, like I said, his lifestyle or whatever he's into has really had a negative effect on his music and his ability to rap, if you ask me.
This young man, I sent this young man an invite. Look at the type of stuff he's saying out of his mouth. Look at the type of things he's commenting.
Come on, man. This is not 2010. If this was 2010, something like that, then I would absolutely agree with what he just said. But it's 2020. Lil Wayne ain't been relevant like that in years. Like, nah. Now, if you want to talk about top 20, top 25 and all that, all right, cool. He has solidified himself throughout history of deserving of that. But right now, nah, man.
And this wasn't our list. This was Funkmaster Flex list. He put this list out. We just commenting on
that too.
You know, Wayne ain't gonna be on my top 10. I try to be of course, lists are subjective, but I can actually give you a subjective list and an objective list if need be. You know what I'm saying? If I was going to give an objective list, I would probably put Lil Wayne on the list, but my own personal list, no, he's not going to be on the list. But with that being said, we got a friend coming in, y'all. I'm gonna add him in. It's the Life Podcast. I think I can't even think of his name. I think his name is like Dustin or something because I always dust him off. But I'm gonna bring him on in, y'all. Yes, indeed.
So we're gonna lie. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Justo.
First of all.
Here we go.
No. This is real talk. First of all, I want to say proud of my big bro on the new platform, on the new show. You know what I'm saying? Happy to see you out here doing your thing. People see I've had to deal with you for years. People don't understand how complex of personality that you have. So I'm sure they'll enjoy that. And Boots, I always rock with you. You know what I'm saying? On your platforms. And I want to shout out to Boots Burrs one time. You know what I mean? Young black entrepreneur doing your thing. So shout out to both of y'all as OGs.
Hey, before you get started,
you know what I'm saying?
Before you get started, can you turn your camera to the side? Horizontal?
To the side? This way?
Yeah, your phone.
That's better?
Yeah,
okay.
There you go.
So
you full screen now. Yeah.
Hold on, let me clear out some of these old links. I was on OnlyFans before I called y'all.
You know what though? I don't like how OnlyFans work their videos, man. It's like they need somebody update.
But hold on, but I can't see y'all.
But it's all good. But go ahead.
I can't see y'all now.
How can you not see us?
I can't see you, Fred. I can only see Dutch.
Nah, because I put him full screen. That's why.
Oh,
you can only right now. You full screen. That's why. Look.
Okay, I see you now. Okay, all right, yeah. Leave it like that so I can see everybody's face when I drop these.
I was giving you the floor. I was giving you the floor. I was letting you do your thing. Rock out. Talk your talk. Look. Let me hear you talk your talk, because you're gonna get cooked if we don't like what you're talking.
All I'm saying is this. Is this better view? Because I'm still watching Chuck and them in the background. So
there you good. There you go, right there.
So all I wanted to say was that as far as top 10 dead or alive, I want to start here. Lil Wayne has to be on the list. That's ridiculous to not even ponder, and maybe not for y'all, like I said. And when I say out of loop, of course I'm joking, because y'all only 10, 12 years older than me. But it's no way possible that Lil Wayne can be behind a Rakim for a top 10 dead or alive. And if you can just compare the discographies and the bodies of work, it's no way in hell that somebody can't put Lil Wayne on no top 10 alive list. It's no way. It's not possible.
Rakim is Rakim.
That's fine, but he don't have no type of discography or body of work that can stand to Lil Wayne at all.
Rakim is Rakim.
See, now if you just take that, if you just take that stance, then I guess it is. I see, and then that's what I wanted to say too. If you take that stance, then I guess I'm out of the loop, because I don't know what that felt like to hear that back in the 80s and was around for that era. You know what I'm saying? But what I can say is that the shit that Lil Wayne has been a popular rapper. I'm 34, so Lil Wayne has been a popular rapper for like 21 years of my life.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, so Rakim and them ain't had no run like that. And I want to ask both of y'all, have y'all heard The Funeral, which is Lil Wayne's last album?
I think I have.
I think I threw that in the trash, I think.
Okay. I thought it was a pretty good album for a nigga to be out in his 20-something year. That's
let me ask you this, Just. Do you think Lil Wayne when he on that Funeral album or whatever, on recent stuff, do you think Lil Wayne is still the same Lil Wayne that was Lil Wayne when he was on top, rapping, the greatest rapper alive and all that type of stuff? Do you think he's still that guy?
No, that doesn't mean he's whack.
Do you think that when he raps and you hear him rapping on songs that he be sounding burnt out.
I can see what you're saying, but I still think, he shows up and does a good job. I don't think he sounds like, to the point where he just like we shouldn't even have him on a song no more. Like nothing like that. No.
Okay, because I used to be. Fred will probably tell you, I was a big Wayne fan. Like I used to,
Not bigger than me. To this day, Fred could tell you the classic album, mixtape I tell you Wayne had back in the day, and Fred still probably never heard it before ever in his life, but still says it's terrible. You know how Fred is.
Right.
He never heard it in his life.
Lil
Always say, "Oh, that's so terrible, young."
Lil Wayne was legit.
A commenter has a question for you.
Eric, yes, Eric. I'm 34, so no, I don't remember paying for. Just the movie.
He was. That's the year he was born.
Yeah. So I don't remember paying for.
But
okay, go ahead.
But Just has a really good argument when he says that Rakim doesn't have the discography or the career to match up with Lil Wayne. I understand that. I get that. But let's throw Rakim out. Let's throw Rakim, Big Daddy Kane out. But when you start talking about other guys like, of course, Jay-Z and Nas and Ghostface Killer. Even now, like are you a Rick Ross fan?
I love Rick Ross, but it's my.
Do you put him over Lil Wayne?
No, but this is
shit. You tripping?
You saying? Well, no, wait. Are you saying
who? Rick Ross over Lil Wayne?
Absolutely. I would.
Are you saying my personal favorite or on the list? Like the list?
The list.
He's not over Lil Wayne on the list, but I like him over Lil Wayne personally. But I just want to say one thing though. It's no way in absolute hell you can tell me that on a top 10 alive MCs list that Jadakiss and Pusha T are over Lil Wayne. It's no way. Where do you want to start?
So you basing everything off of the success of their albums? No,
I'm just saying. First of all, Pusha T is nowhere near at his best, better than Lil Wayne.
I'm sorry.
No.
So you don't? Do you?
Pusha T's on the list, right?
If we're talking,
Pusha T was number 8.
Pusha T was number 8. You don't think Pusha? You don't think Pusha T can? Pusha T ain't never. Pusha T hasn't put out as nowhere near as much material as Lil Wayne by far, but Pusha T, the material that he has put out, he ain't never put out nothing that was whack, that was slumming.
Okay, so what's Pusha T's best effort? Would you say Daytona?
Probably by himself, yeah.
That's better than the Carter 2 and 3?
No.
So then how was he on the list?
Because it ain't just about when you start talking about those type of guys, it's not just about their album. Like, okay, the fact that Pusha T right now and for years now has been a better artist than Lil Wayne means something. That means something.
What about the previous
and the fact that when Pusha T came out, he was in a group, and that group got some classic joints.
So was Lil Wayne.
Do you count Lil Wayne when he was with the Hot Boys? As far as you liking him, and you like enjoying that music?
I think more people than me enjoyed the Hot Boys.
But I'm talking about you personally.
Do I like what? Do I like?
Do you like Lil Wayne that was a hot boy?
He was cool. He was, first of all, Boost, let's put it in context. When he came out with the Hot Boys, he was 14, and Pusha T was 29 when he first came out.
No, so he wasn't.
He's 45 now.
He wasn't no 29. He wasn't no 29 when the clips first came out. He wasn't no 29. I don't think.
Boots, he might have came out when I was in high school. I graduated in 05.
I gotta look that up.
He's 40, like 44, 45 now.
The clips came out on like 03, 04, somewhere around.
Okay, so he was.
Well, no. That album came out, but they had that funeral song probably in 1999.
That didn't come out till like years later on YouTube or some shit.
No, the funeral song, because
Lord Willing came out in 2002.
The album was it was weird. Like they had a single and a video, but something was weird with the album, and then they left, then they came back with
02
grinding and shit.
02 is when we really knew about them.
Because how was Pusha T in 02?
Well,
I don't know.
He in 02. In 02, I was probably like 17, so he was probably like 22.
In 02, you were not 17.
You were not 17 in 2002.
That's a shot. There's no way hell you were 17 in 02.
I'm on the television, people. Yes, I was 17 in 2002. I'm on television.
Oh.
I gotta school y'all to the game, man. Y'all don't know the game.
I didn't get that text. I don't got
man.
my age. I didn't get that text. I'm sorry.
Y'all like, man, Joe Budden out here talking about he just about to turn 40. Come on, man.
Hey,
he be saying that? Joe Budden be saying that?
Hey, but
yeah,
okay,
but said he about to turn 40 like
but check this out.
That's crazy.
Okay, so Eric says he wouldn't put Rakim on the top 10 alive list either. He's a legend, but he hasn't been relevant in 25 years.
Yeah, like come on.
I agree.
But see, I don't agree with that. Because Kane always gonna be on my top 10 list. I don't care what year it is.
Your personal list. Your personal list. Yeah, but your objective list, was he gonna be on there on that zone?
That's different.
But it depends though, because just because somebody is if I was hot in my era and you were hot in your era, what makes you on the list higher than me?
You know what?
You just hot closer. You just hot in your era.
Because my era lasted longer than yours did. My hot era lasted longer than yours.
Everybody know that the 80s era was short for everybody except for LL.
Well,
that was
that's just what it is. That's just what it is. That is what it is. It is what it is.
The 90s was short for a lot of people, but not Jay-Z and Nas. So you can't fault Jay-Z and Nas for transcending that era. You can't do that.
That's true.
They figured out a way to transcend that era. So the people who in that era who couldn't get past it, you can't say, well, they just as good as them but they just ain't figured it out. Nah, Jay-Z, Nas, other dudes, they figured it out. So you can't be just as good as them if you ain't figure it out, but they did. Nah, you can't get that credit. Fuck no. That's what I was saying. Well, Lil Wayne was, think about that. Lil Wayne was hot from when Back to the Ass came out. That was doing it big for the 99 2000s. Then he became the biggest dude ever. Then he put out the biggest dude ever now, who is the very biggest dude ever. Then the biggest girl ever. Like, yo, he gotta be in the top 10 for Dead or Alive, bro. Like, that's not even a question.
But he ain't been shit. He ain't been shit.
But he's way bigger than Pusha T though, Boots.
Pusha
T? Hell yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Bro, Pusha T.
What have you done? Of course,
what have you done for me? The thing is, what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately?
Wayne, bro, Pusha T not nowhere near no Wayne, and I love Pusha T. Me and Fred are gonna Pusha T all the time, but over on a list of alive rappers over Lil Wayne, hell no.
What have you done for me lately?
Lil Wayne's group has been the top tier of hip hop twice, and he's been a part of that both times.
Say that again.
Cash Money has had the a top tier run in hip hop twice. Not a lot of labels have had a top tier run twice. Like where they was the baddest motherfuckers out twice. Cash Money had this shit twice, and Lil Wayne has been a part of that both times, leading the way on the second time. So Pusha T has done nothing nowhere near in hip hop as big as Lil Wayne or as good. You can't say him nothing better than the Carter 2, Carter 3, Carter 4 that Pusha T put out. Not even close. Or all the Wayne mixtapes. Do you even have a conversation?
You got a point.
Oh. Yeah, Pusha T.
Okay, so
Then let's get in our Lil Wayne executive bag. He blows everybody in that bag out of the water, maybe except for Dr. Dre.
Now you're going too far.
Okay, explain this. After Dre as an executive, who's done better than Lil Wayne?
Diddy, Hove.
No. Diddy don't count. I'm talking about as an actual rapper who came, a dude that was a rapper first and then turned executive. Not too
y'all
many
always
dudes.
talking about somebody don't count, man.
I'm just saying, Diddy came to the
I mean,
game as
his
an
executive is an
already.
executive.
No, I'm saying as far as a rapper, Diddy came into the game as an executive first, then became a rapper. I'm talking about Wayne was a rapper first, then became executive.
Okay, so let me ask you this. All
Then put
right,
out Drake
so
and Nicki Minaj and
so
Tyga. Shout out to
little
Tyga.
little Wayne as an executive. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's going to lead me into Drake. So
Mm-hmm.
is Drake on the list over Lil Wayne? Has he
Yeah.
surpassed Lil Wayne?
Yes, I think he has.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You did all this ranting about Lil Wayne, which I actually am starting to agree with you because you brought up some really valid points. But then you saying that you put that Drake has now surpassed Lil Wayne?
Yeah, because I think Drake is one of the greatest music artists of all time.
Wow. Well, does it matter or not about his whole he don't write his rhymes situation?
Now we talking about artists because I said music artists. I didn't say the best MC.
Oh,
But this list is about MCs. It's
wait,
actually called MCs.
wait a minute. Time out. Wait a minute. Is this? I'm trying to look. It says Boots right there in that left-hand corner of his picture, right? I just want to
Yeah.
make
My
sure
picture.
I just try to make sure I'm talking to the right person because the Boots person that I know went out of his way to say that the Drake not writing his rhymes thing wasn't a big deal.
It wasn't. It ain't to me. It ain't to me. But I was bringing that up to him to see what he had to say about it. I wasn't about to say. I
So
wasn't about to
apparently,
use that.
I agree with you.
Right. I was asking you how you feel about that because a lot of people that usually, and the reason why I brought that up is because anytime anybody talks about Drake, that's the first thing they say. He don't write his own rhymes. So I wanted to know how you felt about that. Me personally, I don't think that's such a big deal to me. Not only do I not think that's such a big deal, like I think the
It was down 30.
I think the amount of times that Drake hasn't quote unquote written his rhymes is
It's like
pretty much
party records.
on par with a lot of dudes. We just don't know about it.
I think he didn't write on every like party club type song. But when Drake is in his bag and really rapping, I think he wrote that. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of dudes out here that we really like, that we bump, that we whatever. There have been times where they didn't write their stuff too. But I'm a Drake fan. I like Drake's music. I think I will agree. I wouldn't necessarily say Drake is one of the best musical artists of all time, but I will say Drake is one of the best musical artists in the last what 10 years or so. Like,
So
yeah,
if
and
you
if he,
so if you're the best music artist for a decade, you have an argument for being best of all time.
there's been a lot of people that's been great for a decade.
Not a lot.
It's enough that
Great for a
enough
decade is a long
enough
time.
enough that doesn't automatically put you as one of the greatest music artists in any genre ever.
I'm talking about
Because
in the rap realm.
oh, so you talking? Okay, you didn't make that
Well,
specification.
because I
And
obviously I know he's not better than like Michael Jackson and Prince and shit. I'm just saying for me, like when I've okay, so Michael Jackson was done when in like probably what y'all say, like 90, whenever You're Not Alone and shit came out. Prince was done as far as like like the biggest artist in what year? Would y'all say?
90 something.
It's
Okay,
totally different eras though.
right. That's what I'm saying. So for me, if I'm 34 and the nigga Drake has had hits for the past like 11 years of my life consistently. Not many artists have done that in the history of music.
In your lifetime.
Whose lifetime has it happened in?
Okay,
We
so
talking rap or we talking all music?
I was saying rap, but you can say all music
Oh.
too. Who's had consistent top hits for 11 years in your lifetime? Y'all could probably name me like 4 people.
this what I want to do. I want the Life podcast. Since you are the youngest person in the group right now, you're like 22.
Okay. Right. Yeah. In podcast years, right?
You're like 22. I'm gonna give you the floor. I want you to give me your Mount Rushmore, which is 4 MCs, rappers, whatever you want to call it. Give me your 4. Your Mount Rushmore.
And yeah, because I gotta get ready to take my old ass to bed. So
Damn, Mount Rushmore of MCs. Can I just say rap artists? We gotta say MCs.
no, it's rap artists. Go ahead.
All right, my 4 rap artists for my Mount Rushmore. I would say Jay-Z, Tupac, Drake, and
Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne.
for my Mount Rushmore. I'm sorry, I'm biased to the moment. I'm gonna say Nas.
Okay, so you didn't say Lil Wayne. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, and as I said previously, Drake has passed Lil Wayne. But Lil Wayne is definitely, if you give me a top 10, hell yeah.
And, okay, so I want to get ready to wrap it up, and it was actually only one more topic, but since you here, I actually want you to talk about this.
Who, me?
Yeah, I want you to talk about this too. Okay, so you like I said, you a younger cat, and for y'all younger cats, going out and partying and getting lit and all that kind of stuff, and dealing with these, with these joints or whatever. I don't even know what the correct terminology to use is, but So how do you feel about the story of Tory Lanez shooting Meg Thee Stallion in the foots?
I feel like that, for one, I want to speak definitely from a point of view of somebody who wasn't there or around, who doesn't know
Right.
all the
Nobody, none of us was there.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Freezing up.
As once being their age and being, I guess, industry or whatever weird word you want to call it, but just being around that type of shit when I was young and being around it now, I definitely have a different perspective about it. Just when you're doing certain things, as far as when you party and when you indulging and I guess having whatever vice you got, you know what I mean. I do understand how that can alter decision making and all that kind of stuff, but I do want to say, anytime a female is harmed in that manner, and first, especially with a deadly weapon, I feel like that's the ultimate showing of an absolute sucker. I think that's unless she has a gun waving it towards you, is the only time I guess I would think about using a gun towards a woman or any type of deadly weapon. But I think that's the craziest thing we probably ever seen in our culture, with with Meg Thee Stallion being as big as she is. And I think if he pulled a gun out and shot her over a relationship argument, he's a complete sucker. And if I was him, I would already be back in Canada, kind of trying to hide out.
Okay, Mr. Boots, do you have anything to say about this one?
Nah, I actually completely agree with Justin. I think that I wasn't there. I don't know what happened exactly. You know what I mean? But if it is indeed true that man shot her or showed any type of aggression physically towards her, that was a real sucker bitch move on his part.
Yeah.
Not only that. What I will say, which we do know to be factual, is that whatever happened,
Mm-hmm.
when it first happened, Meg didn't come out saying really anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of why I have a lot more respect for her in this whole situation, is that when it first happened and when it first came out, she wasn't the one saying, oh, he shot me, he did this, he did that. It was other people saying, it was other people who were quote unquote witnesses or other people that were there or what have you. Meg kept her mouth shut. And like she said herself, I didn't want to ruin him. Like, even though he did me wrong and he did something reprehensible to me, I still was worried about him and not trying to like put him or me even more in the limelight and even more in a negative light by just coming out saying, and like she said, she didn't talk to no police. She wouldn't even tell the people at the hospital who did what to her or what happened or whatever.
Do you think that's damaging in our society? I just want to throw that question out there.
I
was going to ask the same thing. Is that why? I mean, if somebody shot me, why shouldn't I tell the police?
I completely agree. I think she should have. But what my point that I'm getting at, so to answer your question, Justin, yes, that is detrimental to our society. Okay. But I guess the reason why I'm bringing that up is that the fact that she didn't do that, and on the heels of her not doing that Tory and his camp started slandering her, calling her all kind of liars.
That was some real big ass shit.
You doing this, you was that. That's the part that I really had a problem with. If you just shut your mouth and they say nothing, the same way she shut her mouth and they say nothing, this probably all would have went away. I mean, we got the COVID.
I don't know about went away.
Well, it may not have went away, but people would have been talking about other things along with it.
Because we got COVID.
You know what I'm saying? It's something. We got the committees going on, and the conventions and all that type of stuff. Right. The reason why we still talking about this and we're continuing to talk about it is because Tory Lanez and his camp completely tried to defame her and to call her all kind of liars, which prompted her to eventually come out and tell her side of the story and say, look, y'all not going to keep calling me all these lies and da-da-da-da. But if he had just shut up and told his people, look, don't talk about this at all, I just think it just wasn't a good look for him at all.
Okay, so this is the last question. So as men, what do you think could cause you to shoot a female after she already then got out the car? Are you too high? You too drunk, or what's going on?
You being a sucker, like
the
life said. You being a sucker. You being a gump, and you being a sucker. That's the only thing I could think of.
Like you already, she already is out of the car, so you shooting, and then
you know what I would think. If that was my situation, and she gets out of the car in the Hollywood Hills, like we've all been in the Hollywood Hills. So if we. What I would think is the best revenge will be is to leave her there.
Leave her.
We know how hard it is to get a car and cab up there and all that. You know what I mean?
Leave her.
I would just roll. Like, okay, you want to be cute? First of all, try to get phone reception and try to get the cab at the top of this hill. I'm out. That's what I would do. And keep walking.
And you know she probably got on 3-4 inch heels or more.
Just like Janet Jackson was doing. It's like Janet Jackson was doing in Port of Justice when Pac said, "Do them fat ass thighs some good." That's what I'll make her do.
Okay, on that note, we're going to exit stage left, Heavens to Megatroid. But before I let you go, the Life Podcast, go ahead. You got the floor. Plug what you need to plug, my brother.
I want to say one thing. I want to say, everybody that's watching, subscribe to the Life Podcast on YouTube, featuring me and my good brother, Anthony Morrow. You know what I mean? Check us out on YouTube with Life Podcast and on Apple Podcast. And I would be remiss not to shout out Coach John Lewis. Rest in peace, Coach John Lewis. If you're not familiar, he started the Maryland Stallions youth organization for basketball players back in 1990. And from him, there's been hundreds of young men that he got off the streets, put them in basketball program. And, several of us went on to play college basketball, a couple in the NBA. Shout out Jared Jack, shout out to Martin Stoudemire, Andre Dawkins, a few of us, made it, way past high school, past college. It's plenty of lawyers, plenty of, just real, real good people who came out of that organization. And he passed away due to COVID a couple of days ago. So shout out John Lewis. He did a whole lot for our area. If you're not familiar with him, because we a little younger, but shout out Coach Lewis. I believe Fred met him before at Jerry's basketball camp. He was in a wheelchair back then, Fred. I don't know if you remember that, you know what I mean? But shout out to Mr. John Lewis and his family. May rest in peace.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mr. Boots, you got the floor. Plug what you want to plug, my brother.
I ain't really well. I would want to plug and shout out FMTV. Go on your YouTubes and subscribe to FMTV and the FM podcast. I'm part of that team. We just actually had another episode the other day talking about voting and getting involved in the political process in your own communities. So definitely want to shout that out. I'm a part of a couple nonprofit organizations, Operation Organize, Rebels with a Cause, basically trying to help our communities and help young men and black women with job and trades and trying to help the community and police relations and just trying to make life better for all of us out here in our communities, man. We in some real tough times right now, and I'm passionate about a lot of those things. So I just try to do my part. I don't just rant and rave on Facebook all the time. I do try to lace up my boots and get out in the street and make a difference. Hopefully we'll see a lot of people out this Friday on the big march in Washington, D.C., the Freedom March. That's going on.
I was invited to that.
Yeah, it's expected to do numbers like the Million Man March, the first one that is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a part of the organization Rebel with a Cause. I'm working with them. They're gonna do some voter registration at that joint, and we're gonna be out there and just listening to people speak, and just a big show of solidarity, man. Other than that, Boost Birds and Barbecue, man. If you like some barbecue ribs and smoked turkeys and all that good stuff, man, I'm your man. You got cookouts or whatever going on, hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, Big Boots, Birds, and Barbecue, straight like that. Other than that, hopefully, man, and definitely shout out to my man Fred and Hip Life. Please subscribe to that. Check out that website for all the good drip, all the good merchandise, man, and hopefully maybe this could be the start of something that we could do on some type of regular basis, man, for y'all, for real.
For sure.
Yes, indeed. And it's your boy Sachi. I got the hiplife.com. You can check that out. I got some fresh stuff still in the package right here. I will pull up, but I don't feel like doing that right now. But I got your wintertime stuff coming up. I don't know, it's global warming, so who knows how cold it's gonna get or not. But you know it is. Go to hiplife.com. Y'all see it, HYPLYFE.com. If you need your video production done or what have you, you can shout me a holler.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you need anything creative done, you can shout me a holler. You know what I mean? Send me a message. Hiplife.com, Hiplife on Sachi, SACTYTE on all the socials and all that kind of stuff, man. And everybody stay safe, mask up. It's not a game. I'm not no doctor or no scientist, so I don't know nothing about all that, but I know the basics. Wash your hands, mask up. It's not a game. Don't let goofballs on the internet tell you it's a hoax and all that. The hospitals are not filling up with actors. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Family members aren't pretending that their family members have passed away. So don't.
Like I said, I lost one 2 days ago. It's not. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we just got to smarten up on all that, and if this ain't that hard to do. So if folks want to get together and do something for 15, 30 minutes or an hour, we really wasn't supposed to go 2 hours. Like we went like 10 times past what the minutes restriction was supposed to be. But hey,
it's all good.
Yeah.
When you having fun and Ain't nothing else going on.
And
Then
we,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
we ain't chopped it up in a long time, man. So us, especially with the Life podcast, man. I ain't chopped it up with him in a long time.
You
So
know what I'm
it was
saying? We
good,
here,
man. It
baby.
was good. It was good, man. So
We
we
here.
needed this. We need it.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So with that being said, man, shout out to the good Trump type. Shout out to the good Snake Roll, because that's the foundation.
That's fam out.
Shout out to the good Fort Wash, because that's the foundation of everything that's going on right now. No matter where in the world you are, if you see some Snake Roll, you see some Trump type, you see some Fort Wash, holler at them, giving love. And on that note, we're gonna exit stage left. Have us to Megatroid.